Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! 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 Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to finish up the double feature that we're covering of the 5-movie franchise. Today we take a look at Home Alone 2: Lost in New York, starring Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, John Hurd, Catherine O'Hara, Tim Curry, Brenda Frecker, Eddie Bracken, Rob Schneider, Ali Sheedy, and Donald Trump. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And like I said in the introduction, today we're going to take a look at the second film in the Home Alone franchise, and the last one we're going to cover this year, as it's the last one that you can really consider a Christmas chestnut, at least by my definition. One of those movies that you just have to watch every year. No ifs, ands, or buts. So we're going to take a look today at Home Alone 2: Lost in New York. And as our movie opens, the McAllister family is preparing to spend Christmas in Miami, Florida, and they all gather once again at Peter and Kate's Chicago home. Their youngest son, Kevin, views Florida as contradictory to Christmas due to its tropical climate and lack of Christmas trees. At the school Christmas pageant, during Kevin's solo, his older brother Buzz pranks him. Kevin retaliates by pushing him, which causes the entire choir to fall, ruining the pageant. Back at home, Buzz makes a fake apology, which the family accepts, berating Kevin when he says that he only retaliated due to Buzz humiliating him. Kevin then insults his family for believing Buzz's lies and for spending Christmas in a tropical climate. He then storms off to the attic, wishing to have his own vacation alone. The next morning, the family oversleeps once again and must rush to the airport. Kevin is with them this time, but he becomes separated from them while carrying Peter's bag and accidentally boards a flight to New York City, New York. Upon his arrival in the Big Apple, he decides to tour the city, but he becomes frightened by a homeless woman who is tending to pigeons in Central Park. He then uses Peter's credit card to check into the Plaza Hotel, unaware that the Wet Bandits have also reached the city after escaping from prison. On Christmas Eve, Kevin visits a toy store whose kindly owner, Mr. Duncan, plans to donate the day's sales proceeds to a children's hospital. After Kevin makes a donation to the cause, Mr. Duncan gives him a pair of turtle doves in thanks, instructing Kevin to give one to another person as a gesture of eternal friendship. When the concierge at the plaza confronts Kevin about his use of Peter's credit card, which has now been reported as stolen, Kevin flees the hotel, but is caught by the Wet Bandits, now known as the Sticky Bandits. Marv mentions his and Harry's plan to rob Duncan's toy store before Kevin is able to escape during an encounter with a passerby. Upon landing in Miami, the McAllister family discover that Kevin is missing once again, and they file a police report. After the police trace Peter's credit card, the family immediately boards a flight to New York City. Meanwhile, Kevin goes to his uncle's townhouse, only to find it vacant and undergoing renovations. Back in Central Park, Kevin encounters and befriends the pigeon lady, who takes him to Carnegie Hall. She explains how her life collapsed when her lover left her, and Kevin encourages her to try and trust people again. After considering her advice that he perform a good deed in order to make up for his misdeeds, and recalling Mr. Duncan's intention to donate the hospital, he decides to prevent Harry and Marv from robbing the store. Kevin rigs the townhouse with booby traps, catches Harry and Marv in the process of robbing the store, and breaks its front window in order to set off the burglar alarm. After taking their picture, he lures them to the townhouse, where they repeatedly injure themselves with the booby traps. Kevin slips away, calls the police from a payphone in order to alert them to the pair's presence, and then flees towards Central Park. However, Harry and Marv are able to catch him after he slips on ice, and they prepare to kill him, but the pigeon lady throws a bucket of birdseed onto them, which attracts a massive flock of pigeons and incapacitates the duo just long enough for the police arrive and arrest them. Kevin provides photographic and tape recorded evidence against them, and Mr. Duncan is able to recover the donation money. The McAllister family then arrives in New York, and Kate, remembering Kevin's fondness for Christmas trees, finds him making a wish at the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. On Christmas morning, a truckload of free gifts arrives at the McAllisters' hotel room, sent from a grateful Mr. Duncan for foiling the robbery. Kevin reconciles with his family and goes to Central Park in order to give one of his turtle doves to the pigeon lady, cementing their friendship as our movie comes to its end. For me, I preferred the sequel to the original this time for a multitude of reasons. Number one, as great as the relationship bond is between Kevin and Old Man Marley in the first film, I find the relationship between Kevin and the Central Park bird lady in this film just leaps and bounds better. There's this tenderness, there's this sweetness between the two of them that just doesn't seem to exist between him and Old Man Marley. You know, there's this true connection and this understanding because both of them are kind of considered misfits. You know, Kevin is the outcast from his family, constantly under ridicule, constantly getting into trouble, even though a lot of times he's not the one really provoking and starting everything. He's just defending himself. Whereas the pigeon lady is homeless. She's shunned from society. People pass her by every day and don't give a second glance at her because she's unkept and she's homeless and she's tending to the birds, you know? So that's one reason, and probably the main reason. The second reason is in the first movie, yeah, you can argue that the booby traps in part two are a lot of the same. However, in the first movie, Kevin has home court advantage. Everything is taking place in his town, his neighborhood, and specifically his house. Here, he's the visitor, he's the away team. Yes, he rigs his uncle's house, but there's still the foreign. You don't know what there is to use for booby traps at the house. You've got to try and locate it. You're in a completely different city, arguably one of the most dangerous cities in the world, New York City, especially during the late 80s, early 90s. So you've got that aspect going for it. And Kevin is just out of his element here, even though he's dealt with Harry and Marv before. It's a foreign concept to him because this is not his normal. Then you add Tim Curry. I mean, hello. Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show, Rooster from Annie, Pennywise the Dancy Clown from It, Long John Silver from Muppet Treasure Island. You've got Tim Curry in this. You've got a cameo from Donald Trump helping Kevin find the lobby so he can get checked into his hotel, the Plaza Hotel. Rob Schneider, like at this point in Rob's career, I want to say he's still a guest starring character on Saturday Night Live. He hasn't even made main cast yet. And he's in this film. And he's a show stealer. And then Ali Sheedy, popping up again in a John Hughes film. You figure all the John Hughes films that she was in back in the day. There's just level upon level upon level, in my opinion, that makes this the superior film in the franchise. I'm curious to know what you guys think, but when it comes to my rating for this one, I give Home Alone 2 5 stars. It's just better. You can argue me about it, and I welcome that. Let me know your thoughts of Home Alone 2 Lost in New York and whether you feel it is weaker than or agree with me that it is superior to the original film. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. But let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in later this evening, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as to the Jeff Meacham Network and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, as we present a special Friday night holiday edition of Open Mic Night. It is our Eve of Christmas Eve special. We didn't want to go on Christmas Eve. We know there's going to be a lot of people with their families, but we wanted to do something special for our viewers. So we're doing it on Friday night, tonight, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern. No wrestling conversation unless you guys super chat us with a wrestling topic. And speaking of super chats, a $5 super chat will get you a spin on the Wheel of Carols, and whatever song it lands on, myself, the Simple Man Noah Foster, the Heeb Man James Hebert, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, and whoever else is in the studio with us will have to sing along too. We'll be discussing Christmas movies, Christmas songs, Christmas traditions, and so much more. Don't miss out. And then tomorrow, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, will be another edition of Renegades Reviews. And it's new release Saturday. We're going to take a look at the new release film, Violent Night, starring David Harbour, John Leguizamo, Alex Hassel, Alexis Louder, Beverly D'Angelo, Leah Brady, Brendan Fletcher, and so much more. And then immediately following that, at the top of the half hour, will be It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart, Donna Reed, Lionel Barrymore, Henry Travers, Frank Phelan, Ward Bond, and Gloria Graham. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. Eve of Christmas Eve special of Open Mic Night, new release Saturday, It's a Wonderful Life, and we've still got over a week to go here on our 31 days of the holidays on Renegades Reviews. So make sure you smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Open Mic Night, Statboy Sports Bar, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of the Home Alone saga, fans of Macaulay Culkin, fans of Catherine O'Hara, fans of Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, fans of Tim Curry, fans of Brenda Fricker, fans of Rob Schneider, fans of Donald Trump. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized, make some money on the channel here. Thank you once again to everyone who joined me and tuned in today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.